The Myanmar Climate Change Alliance conducted an investigation which stretches back 60 years, producing two startling conclusions. The first of which is Myanmar's annual average temperature is rising by 0.08 degrees Celsius every decade. And the second is that rainfall every decade has increased from 29 to 215 millimeters. The impact of climate change on Myanmar is reflected in the fact that drought periods have lengthened and weather has become more intense.
Agriculture is an economic lifeline for Myanmar, as farmers are able to undertake 2 rice plantings a year, one in the dry seasons and one in the rainy season. The dry season begins in March, with climate change affecting both the quality and crop output. For this farmer, he needs to take out a loan to be able to make it through.
I borrowed money this year to plant the fields. If the harvest isn't good, then the loan will continue to next year.
U Den Dun has 4 acres of land. In the past, he not only had to borrow money from the government, but also high interest loans of up to 15% interest, with some poor harvest years leaving him with $90 worth of debt. Myanmar government's loans to farmers extend for 6 months with an interest rate of 0.7%, and with one field qualifying for a loan of $7.4 and requiring repayment of $7.7. The government of Myanmar has since pushed for a new agricultural loan policy from 2015 onwards. The amount of borrowing has increased from $7.4 to $74, and in 2016 it was further lifted to $88.6, with the interest rate falling from 0.7 to 0.055, which has significantly reduced the burden on farmers. However, climate change is now posing yet another challenge.
It is harder to cultivate crops because we used to have 3 seasons in 12 months, but this has been reduced to just a rainy season and a dry season, as we have lost the winter's harvest.
Seasonal changes are the biggest indicator of climate change. In the past, there are 3 distinct seasons in central and southern Myanmar, while the north has 4 seasons. Now the south has 1 less season, leaving it with just 2 seasons. U Den Dun said that would never rain after October, but now this is possible, which can lead rice to sprout. In 2015, the rainy season in Myanmar forced as many as 1.6 million people to resettle. Over the past 6 decades, the annual average temperature in Myanmar has risen by 0.08 degrees Celsius every decade, and the average rainfall has increased from 29 to 215 millimeters. In addition to drought, there are tropical cyclones which are more intense, with rainfall increasing and floods also increasing. Higher temperatures have also been felt with sea levels rising. These 6 major phenomena have had a direct impact on the agricultural income. Solving drought and submerged rice fields along with soil salinization becoming a top priority.
It's very important for climate change. If we use misunderstanding for application on the soil, it's very dangerous.
These transparent bottles are filled with many different soils. This training center is part of Myanmar's Ministry of Agriculture, where farmers receive the latest agricultural knowledge and technology.
Department of Agriculture Research (DAR) is under the Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock and Irrigation. This department is especially in research for every sector in agriculture.
U Den Dun's life has gotten better through actions such as the government's agricultural loans. He has enjoyed other advantages. For example, Ziji from the beginning of 2008 has been distributing rice seed, which has been specially developed by Myanmar's Ministry of Agriculture.
Myanmar was once the world's top rice producer, but production has steadily been climbing. The Myanmar government in the past 35 years has continually been committed to the improvement of rice crop. This piece of farmland that we're visiting is actually an experimental field operated by Myanmar's Ministry of Agriculture in conjunction with local farmers.
This year in Yangon, we organized a special research association with rice farmers to plant these 400 acres of farmland. This is an experimental rice paddy to learn more about rice planting.
Here we see green stalks of rice, though the naked eye may not be able to detect good rice from bad rice. The Myanmar government's rice research program is using a very traditional means to determine this. Top quality rice produced by the Ministry of Agriculture, which is given to farmers for experiments. Typically, 1 acre can produce 40 to 50 baskets of rice. But if you can produce 80 to 90 baskets, it means this is very good rice, with farmers being able to reserve 40% of the rice to stay as rice seed. Unfortunately, after a new government in Myanmar has come to power, no new agricultural policies have been enacted. While Myanmar seeks to develop its overall environment, it is also battling climate change and seeking ways to stabilize agriculture, which is the foundation of the country. This is one of the major issues facing the leadership of Aung San Suu Kyi.